All right. Our next question comes from Jill Fox. Jill Fox is in the house. What's up, Jill? My agency business has grown so much this year that I need part-time help. That makes me happy. Tell them, Jill, we had a success story a couple of weeks ago from Jill, and her something like, since she's joined the Flip Your Lifestyle community, she's like 5x her business or something insane, and it wasn't even the one she was originally working on. So it's awesome. How do I find and hire a good VA? To make this question harder, I live in California, which has the AB5 law requiring most 1099 contractors to be classified as employees. I can't afford a full-time employee. Help Shane. That's what she said. All right. Okay. So a couple things here. I don't know about this law for 1099 contractors. I don't think you have to fill out, if I remember correctly, when we were using overseas VAs, I think you just count that as an expense. I don't think you make them fill out a 1099 because they are overseas, so they don't file taxes or something like that. So if my memory serves me, maybe you could look overseas. Maybe you could go through a service. No, Lori says no. Is that right, Lori? Do they fill out a 1099, Lori? I can't remember. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. So here's what I would do. One, I would go overseas and look for an overseas VA. They're half price. And if you do have to fill out anything for taxes or follow that law or whatever, then do that. Okay. The second thing I would say is you probably can afford more than you think you can. I would put out privately, locally. I would hire someone local, just put part-time. Like if you can work 20 to 30 hours a week, like, if you can pay for, what can you pay for? Like how much can you afford right now a week? How much can you afford to pay a week, Jill? Tell me. We're gonna have to get some more information. All right, there's an awesome thing Lori just posted. See, this is why we have a community. Shane don't know everything, but Lori does, and she's got all the stuff about the bill. How much can you afford a month right now, Jill? Tell me how much you can afford to pay a month for an employee. How much can you pay a month? We're going to sort through this. I'm here for you, Jill. We're going to figure it out. This might make a terrible YouTube video, but it's going to be an awesome answer to the question. Is Jill here still? Okay. Well, let's say that Jill can afford $1,000 a month for a person. So if you divide that by $20, this is how we decide how much we can hire and if we got to do part-time or full-time. Let's say I've got $1,000 a month. Can't afford a full-time person, but I can afford $1,000 a month. If I divide that by $25 an hour, which is pretty good wage, that's 40 hours. That's 10 hours a week. You could probably hire someone local for 10 hours a week. And the 1099 form or anything else, like that's just, they have to pay taxes. I mean, people have to pay taxes. So you put the tax on them. Right? Like it's not a W-2 employee. You're not paying the taxes on them, right? If you list them as employees, see, I don't understand how all the tax stuff works. All right. This one's probably above my pay grade, Jill. We're going to have a conversation in the Flip Your Life community. Okay. As a biz in California, you have to comply with the law or the regulation regardless of where you hire people. I think that the law applies to Californians, and there are 1099 people that are creating businesses in Nevada. Okay. I'm going to attack this from a different angle. Okay. I'm starting over. Hit refresh. Okay. All right. I'm starting over from a different thing. I'm going to attack the mindset you can't afford an employee. Okay. I don't think you have all the information. When I started my business, I had it in my head that I could not afford health insurance for my family without an employer saving me and paying for my health insurance. This was a mindset issue. All I had to do was research it. I had to say, how much money do I have? How much does it actually cost? And I had to go get the information and overcome that fear so that I could quit my job and go get a new job as a self-employed online entrepreneur, right? You can hire people. You may have to pay taxes, and that may have to figure into the equation. But if you've got $500 extra a month, you can hire someone for 5 hours a week. And if you have to classify them as an employee, you pay taxes. But what if that 5 hours a week frees you up to go get an extra client? And then you go out and make $5,000 extra a month because you hired someone. This is a mindset issue that I'm hearing. Actually, I don't know the particulars. I'm not even going to try to guess. I don't know what you're doing, but it's not about if you can afford it. It's how do you go out and afford it, right? Go get another client and pay all that money into that person for the taxes. Go out and look in the marketplace and see what actually people charge hourly in your local area for the job you want them to do. Like, what do you want them to do? You can afford something. I would say you can afford either a 10-hour-a-week employee or a part-time employee for 30 hours a week. But it's the mentality here of, the state, the mean old California requiring me to make them an employee. Well, that means they're probably going to tax them, right? I'm guessing that's what that is. So fine, figure that into your equation. What can you afford right now? How much can you pay out in a month? Maybe it's 500, maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 2,000. And then go and say, well, if this person is an employee, California is going to tax me X dollars. So take that out of the equation. Now I've got this much left. This is how many hours I can afford right now, and I'll improve it. And then go out and say, okay, now I'm going to go get another client that's going to pay for that employee, right? So there's a lot of discussion going on right now of how this works. I don't know how this works. I don't care how this works. If you want an employee bad enough, you will say, I'm willing to give up some of my money now to free up capacity so that I can go make money later. When the coronavirus pandemic hit, we had just hired someone. And we were freaked out because this was a full-time W-2 employee, right? But then we looked down and said, man, if we hired 2 more people right now, we could blow this thing up. We got an opportunity with this pandemic. People are going to be home. People are going to be online. We can't let this opportunity pass because we're afraid. Oh, but what if the pandemic? What if your money dries up? What? No, we need the employee now. What can we afford? How much can we afford? Well, this is the salary. How much is the government going to take out of that with taxes and insurance? I don't care. Minus it from the salary. That's the new salary. Like, go find that person that fits that job, right? We hired 3 people from March to April of 2020 at the height of the coronavirus pandemic when the entire economy was collapsing. But we didn't care about all we looked at was the real world variables, what we wanted, and then we went out and found what we could afford, right? And that's what you've got to do right now. But again, who cares about taxes, guys? Don't worry about what the government's doing. Worry about what you're doing. Like, it's like saying, well, I make $100,000. I don't want to make 150 because they'll tax me more. Bull crap. Go make 400. Then you still make more money, no matter how much they tax you, right? So if you need part-time help, figure out what you can afford. Don't tell me what you can't afford. Figure out the laws and how it impacts your tax position, and do the math. And then go hire out what you can actually do, okay? All right, interesting conversation. Again, that was above my pay grade, but I want to make sure that you don't take any advice from me on tax advice, because I clearly did not know what I was talking about a minute ago. But I think that's a mindset issue. I hate it when people say, I can't afford it. I used to say that. I hated myself for saying it, right? And I just like, how can you afford it? What does it mean in your taxes? And then go do it. Jill says, I'm concerned about workman's comp, leave, paid sick time, vacation time, and being required to pay them hourly. Okay, look, I get it. I understand that. I'm concerned about that. I concerned about it every day. And I got W-2s, employees, right? Like, it's fine. I get it. I get all that. But it's still just math, right? Like, you need help. You need part-time help. That was your job, is to recognize that as the CEO of your company, right? You've grown to a point where you need help. You've done this year, Jill. You've went straight up, hockey stick crazy, right? And now you're recognizing, I need help. But here's the problem. You didn't need help about back here. And you're like, ooh, I'm making a lot of money. Okay, well, now you've reached the point in the stock market graph where you have to say, yep, I got to give some of that up. Because I'm going to go hire someone so that the next hockey stick happens, right? You got it. You're going to have to give up a little now of the good to get the great later, right? You need help. So go do the math. What would it cost to hire someone for 20 hours a week with workman's comp, with leave, with sick time, with vacation, and hourly? If I accepted that responsibility, what would that cost? Do the math, figure it out, talk to your accountant, talk to your CPA. Now you have data, and you say, well, okay, that costs $2,000. Now the question is, can I afford it or can I not? Am I willing to sacrifice it or not to get something better? Then you make that decision, right? And you go on. Or you say, nope, I got to slide that down here. If that's what it's going to cost with all these taxes, these are the rules. The football field is 100 yards long. It's 53 1/3 yards wide. There's 10-yard end zones. My plays get drawn up based on the football field, not based on what I want the football field to look like, right? So go figure out what the football field looks like. What does the grid look like? Draw your play inside of that, and then you can decide what you need and what you want. Do you go overseas? Do you come overseas? I still would believe that hiring maybe overseas would be different a little bit, but figure out what you can afford. And then don't say, I can't afford it. Say, how can I afford it? And then hire help, right? You may be at a place where if you don't hire help, Jill, you don't grow anymore. And that's not good. right? Or maybe you just back up a little bit. Maybe you fire one client and you say, you know what? I liked it back over there when I didn't need anybody and I wasn't overwhelmed and I didn't need part-time help. I'll just stay here and focus on my membership. You can do that too. So go figure out what size the football field is and draw your play inside of that. Okay. Hey, y'all. Shane Sams here from the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast and flippedlifestyle.com. My wife, Jocelyn, and I are former school teachers who figured out how to make our entire living on the internet. Now we help other families do the same. Thank you so much for listening to today's featured online business question from a real member of the Flip Your Life community. I hope that you enjoyed today's show and that it helped you get unstuck and take your next steps in your online business journey. Have you ever had a question about online business, making money online, or becoming an internet entrepreneur? My wife, Jocelyn, and I have helped thousands of people start, build, and grow their own online businesses and create stable, predictable, recurring revenue for their family. We would love to help you and your family too inside of the Flip Your Life community. Each month, we host live members-only Q&As where we help you get unstuck and move closer to your family's dream. We would love to see you on our next Q&A inside of the Flip Your Life community. All you have to do is go to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's flippedlifestyle.com/FREE. And you can sign up for a 30-day free trial to the Flip Your Life community. That's going to give you access to every single course, every single community forum, and 2 member calls every single month where you can come and ask questions live. That's flippedlifestyle.com/free. Go sign up for your free trial today. That's all I've got today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode of the Q&A with S&J. Tell us what you think about today's show in the comments or go leave us a 5-star review. And tune in every single week for the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, where we help a real member of the Flip Your Life community one-on-one, and then we air that conversation live for everyone to hear. Remember, all you need is 100 people to pay you $50 a month to make $5,000 a month. That's $60,000 a year. That's enough money to flip your life and change your family future. Until next time, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.